Welcome to Affenhahn, your brand for functional fitness here in Germany. We previously made an informative video about our gym floor. Now we have various thicknesses available, so I'm getting a detailed update on what we have in our full range. Okay, we have 10 millimeters, 20 millimeters, 30 millimeters, and 43 millimeters. All floors are meticulously crafted in the EU, which means they are genuinely free from any harmful toxins, hazardous substances, or dangerous chemicals. They also have a smell. I mean, they possess a slight rubber scent, but they definitely don't reek of death and vengeance when you first get them. That's truly our most significant point and priority, which we always emphasize on the ground, that it has to be correct and right first. And then, now the question is, which gym floor is good for you? This is now a 10 millimeter floor. I mean, you can see that it's more of a floor designed for bodyweight exercises, or basically, you could say for activities where you don't drop heavy weights. If you have valuable parquet flooring underneath that you want to preserve in its current good condition, then following this method is not recommended. The floor really needs to be very good, and you need to know, okay, we're doing yoga on it, maybe there are just a few pieces of equipment on it, but no weights are falling on the floor. Then you can take the floor. This here, the 20 millimeter flooring, is actually the one that is most frequently bought from us. It generally feels like every CrossFit box has either 20 millimeter or 30 millimeter flooring, depending on the type of surface we have. There is already a noticeable difference. The floor has a higher quality finish, so it must meet higher standards. That's why it's a bit more expensive. Otherwise, it would tear more easily since it's not as thick and durable as this higher quality version. That's precisely why you have the option to switch to a slightly cheaper alternative here, which still works perfectly and meets all your needs. We have here, for example, the 30 millimeter flooring, which means you need to reconcile with your conscience how much you want to protect the floor underneath and what your budget allows. So, if money is no object, and the floor absolutely needs to be safe, you should always go for the 30 millimeter. However, if it's a proper industrial floor, the 20 millimeter floor is actually sufficient to provide adequate protection underneath. Although I can't fully demonstrate it in the video, these are extremely grippy, which you might have noticed from the footage. Then we also have the 43 millimeter floor. One wonders now, why on earth does he have to look like a waffle? For practical reasons. On one hand, it is significantly cheaper because you don't need nearly as much raw material. And secondly, no one else can lay the gym floor anymore. Because a plate like this weighs quite a bit, you get a waffle here. Don't be surprised. Just so you've heard it already, it doesn't bother you. But you can definitely feel it nonetheless. So when you walk around on this, you can easily feel, especially if you're wearing barefoot shoes, that there's a bump there. That means those who are sensitive to it would prefer the 30 millimeter floor. This is also the type of durable flooring commonly used for weightlifting platforms in gyms. We have that platforms too. That means you'll have a bit more cushioning and comfort as well. Of course, there's much more to the design of the weightlifting platforms, but that's just a side note to consider. So, in summary, the thicker the floor, the more cushioning it provides for any material, even for your joints, and the better the sound insulation, ensuring a quieter and more comfortable living or working environment. It's logical, the more you spend, the more you have. Maybe just give a quick recap on the delivery details and such. The small quantities can practically fit into just one single package. But you can already see the plates are meter by meter. It could be a crucial factor. We do not carry small plates with smaller dimensions because they slip easily and therefore do not meet our quality standards. Then you feel like you're in the board game, The Crazy Labyrinth, and at some point the tiles just fall down. That's why meter by meter. Small quantities will arrive at your place in a package. You can order a sample and a package will arrive for you to see. And larger quantities come on the pallet and you quickly have a ton of gym flooring together. That's why one can easily imagine that a driving cost factor is the delivery. So, if you are ever in our area, feel free to write to us, maybe it will work out. You can also pick up the flooring yourself. Then you can save on all your shipping costs once again. Why do we need glue? Actually, we don't really need him right now, so we didn't take him here with us either. But it does help. You know the saying, the cobbler's children have no shoes? It's similar with us. This way, you can prevent such situations.
We keep them this way to allow flexibility for easy access when needed.
Absolutely. Because we prefer to make sure that it suits you first. Once the floor is laid, it can be pulled up again. We laid it out in a staggered pattern. Because if you lay it out practically like that, directly next to each other so that the lines merge, it shifts much more wildly in all directions. So you always have some support. It is perfectly positioned here. As I just said, we often don't attach that much importance to it. To avoid gaps, even if you want to wipe so that nothing seeps through, then use adhesive from our shop with a caulking gun for a tight, secure seal. The seal is really bomb-proof and actually holds.
Especially intriguing when not placed against the wall but left open, as it then shifts and moves more easily.
If there are end pieces, meaning if the gym floor is against the wall, then I wouldn't actually worry too much about something like that. However, if you have an open area, it is highly recommended, and then you should get back to us, because we have specialized end pieces that make it look really nice and finished, so you don't have a straight, abrupt edge here. Laying it is another matter. You have to cut it at corners, around racks, or when you have end pieces, which means you have to make precise cuts somewhere. It's still somewhat of an insider tip. That's truly a game-changing insider tip. Usually you just have a strip of material, you lay it on the cutting surface, cut through it once, twice, 3 times, and then you're done. And now it's like this. When cutting, the rubber significantly slows things down and really hinders the process here. The main issue is that problem. That means when you are cutting, you just need a small glass, put a bit of dish soap or regular soap in it, add water, and then each time you dip the blade in, dry it off, and then cut. It truly feels like butter. It's quite a remarkably difference indeed. Do it exactly like that.
And a sharp knife.
Yes, exactly. So, if the blade breaks off every so often, it actually makes things much easier for you. And when the flooring finally arrives and you start laying it, be sure to really start in the corner of the room and not somewhere in the middle. Alternatively, you can lay all the full tiles first and then proceed with placing the half tiles to ensure an even layout. That's ungrateful. Start laying it down meticulously like you would when installing parquet flooring. Approach it similarly to ensure it's done correctly from the very beginning. And when it comes to cutting things out, I would do it at that moment and not delay it until later.
Maybe you could clearly demonstrate how you want to approach it by carefully measuring it out.
We, for example, moved from the back to the front because the front is open here. Then I'm here and I see, okay, this is the precise location where it essentially needs to be filed correctly. The decision has been made to completely release it. One could put it over, but I didn't find that stylish. So, then I'll do the following. I'll measure from here to here, then I'll place the angle here. And that's just, well, we do it this way because it's simply more practical, just really cutting through to this measure. So you come from the corner, then you have this measure from here to here, and the measure from here to here. That means you can make a precise incision here, and then you basically cut out the entire box and you're done. And then you can simply lift the floor like that. I would never cover this, because otherwise, if for some reason you get the floor, I don't know, some soup runs into it, whatever, then you have to remove the base plate. You'll practically do that.
The whole rack of pots.
Built. Of course, one would find another solution, but it is really more gratifying. And then you just continue with the next tile and you're done. So always try to get out of the corner and into the open space. That's usually the best move. If you have any specific color preferences, even if they don't relate to the video, you can let us know. We have the color green, gray, blue, and red. So that means feel free to get in touch. We've aimed to cover everything, including frequently asked questions. If you have any additional questions, feel free to leave them in the comments here or send us an email or message us somewhere. We,
Answer gladly.
Yes, exactly. See you in the next video.